So microdosing versus macrodosing. There are a few things that I'll point out with both of these. First of all, macrodosing, taking a dose that is probably, we would say, a gram or higher. There there are plenty of times in my younger years when I took a macro dose of psilocybin just to party, have
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
time, like see what happens. What I've realized, though, as I've matured in my own spiritual process, is that a macro dose of psilocybin, and with any psychedelic for that matter, it opens your chakras, and it opens them whether they're ready to be opened or not, or whether or not you did the work to
Mhm.
facilitate opening them.
Mm.
And that can be a real shock to the system. So as I reflect back, I don't, I can't recommend that somebody starts taking macrodoses of any psychedelic if they haven't done some sort of work on their own mind body soul connection,
Mhm.
and without having done some sort of work to know their body's energy and how the chakras work, and how to tune into that, because it can be a really overwhelming experience when you've been closed off for your entire life, and then you take this dose of mushrooms and it's like everything opens and expands all at the same
Mhm.
time. Microdosing, on the other hand, is this subtle little addition of the psychedelic frequency into your system. It's much gentler. If we're talking about anything below probably zero point 0.3 grams,
Mm.
and even lower, maybe even below zero point 0.1 gram, that would be considered a microdose. And you're not really going to get a full psychedelic effect from that. It's something that is just, like I mentioned, introducing this gentle frequency of the mushrooms into your mind, into your consciousness, into your physical body. The benefits of that would be that you're getting a controlled reaction, essentially.
Mm.
And when you take a microdose of psilocybin, there's enough science now so that people who like data, and scientific studies, there's enough evidence now, from very reputable sources, that indicate a few things happen, even when you're taking a microdose of mushrooms. Number one, it increases blood flow to your brain, so blood perfusion. Number two, it activates new neural pathways in your brain. And once a new neural pathway is activated, it's there forever. So it's kind of like once you learn the new thing and the new activation takes place, it's now integrated into who you are.
Mm.
If you're taking small microdoses on a regular basis, there's the potential then for repeated neural pathway development, which then slowly, gradually raises your consciousness. And then you look back on a period of time that's gone by and you think of how you used to be, and it's like, oh wow, i'm i I'm a totally different person. I think totally differently than how I used to, but it's not all at once.
Mhm.
A macrodose, if you're prepared for that experience, a few things I think happen. Number one, like I said, it opens your chakras, and when that happens, you become a more clear channel for the flow of the divine into you, which means you can feel very connected to bigger concepts other than just being this third dimensional human existing in this day-to-day reality. And you can have the most profound epiphanies and moments on a macrodose, though it tends to be something that is far more powerful all at once,
Mm-hmm.
which you have to be prepared for. You have to be ready for that to happen.